You've been told that to be a man, a stoic man, you have to be a rock, impenetrable, cold, and unmoved. You've been taught to show no emotion, to build a fortress around your heart and call it strength. And even if that doesn't sound like you, even if you feel you're too emotional, stick with me, because the principles we're about to cover will give you the grounded confidence you've been searching for. Because what if that fortress is the very thing pushing quality women away? What if the walls you've built to protect yourself are actually the walls of your own prison? The truth is, you've been sold a caricature of Stoicism. The popular image of the hardened, emotionless man is a shallow reading of a deep and powerful philosophy. This isn't your fault, but it is your problem. It's why you feel that disconnect, and why women of substance seem interested at first, only to drift away, unable to connect with the man behind the mask. In this guide, I'm not going to tell you to feel less. I'm going to show you how real Stoic self-mastery, not coldness, becomes your silent advantage in attracting a partner of true substance. The secret isn't to be emotionless, it's to be the master of your emotions. There's a version of Stoicism that has been twisted to justify emotional suppression. It tells you to just grit your teeth through pain and present a blank slate to the world, thinking it makes you mysterious and powerful. But a woman of depth and intuition doesn't see power in that. She sees a void. She sees a man who isn't in control of his emotions, but is so afraid of them that he's locked them away entirely. And ask yourself, what kind of connection can truly grow in a void? A rock offers no warmth, no life. It can be shattered. True Stoicism isn't about becoming a rock. It's about becoming a mountain. A mountain feels the wind, the rain, and the storms, but it remains steadfast. It isn't defined by the weather, it's defined by its own unshakable presence. It has deep roots, it's grounded, and its strength is quiet and immense. This is the man a high-caliber woman is drawn to, not a man who suppresses his feelings, but one who has mastered them. A man whose inner world is so well governed that the chaos of the outer world can't shake him. It's what Marcus Aurelius was getting at when he wrote about being free of passion and yet full of love. That isn't a contradiction. It's the goal. It's the ability to love and connect deeply without being a slave to your feelings. This guide is your blueprint for becoming that mountain. We're going to deconstruct the false stoicism that's holding you back and rebuild your foundation on the 5 true pillars of Stoic attraction. These aren't tricks, they're principles of character. Because a quality woman isn't attracted to what you do, she is attracted to who you are.
Pillar number 1, the internal scorecard, from validation seeker to self-defined man. One of the biggest problems in modern dating is the trap of external validation. Think about a guy. Let's call him Ben. Ben is on a date, sitting across from her in a noisy bistro, and he finds himself subtly transforming. She mentions she loves an indie band he's barely heard on, and he immediately says, "Oh yeah, they're amazing," his voice a little too eager. When she wrinkles her nose at a political topic, he feels a flush of panic and quickly backpedals from his own opinion. His entire evening is a performance, a tightrope walk, where his mood swings with every one of her smiles or polite, non-committal hums. He's looking for that next hit of validation. When you do this, you're letting her keep the score in your own life. And that's not attractive. It's neediness. It tells her you don't have a solid core, that your sense of self is so fragile that needs constant reinforcement. Is that the man you want to be? You're not an oak tree, steady and strong. You're a leaf, tossed around by every gust of her mood and attention. The solution is the Stoic internal scorecard, built on the dichotomy of control. The philosopher Epictetus taught that we must separate what we can control from what we can't. You can't control her perception of you, whether she finds you attractive or the outcome of a date. Those things are external. What you can control are your own actions, your character, and your integrity. That's your internal scorecard. Your worth isn't measured by her praise, but by whether you're acting in line with your own virtues. Are you being honest? Are you acting with courage? Are you living with discipline? When Ben operates from this place, he states his opinion respectfully, but doesn't apologize if it differs. He's fully present, but not desperate for a specific outcome. If it goes well, fantastic. If it doesn't, rejection isn't a verdict on his worth. It's just data telling him there's a mismatch. This creates a magnetic presence. You're no longer a performer begging for applause. You're a man living by his own code. A woman of substance feels this instantly. She's used to men twisting themselves into knots for her approval. When she meets a man who approves of himself, she'll know she's in the presence of someone with a deep, unshakable core. She will feel your stability, and she will be drawn to it.
Pillar number 2, calm leadership, from emotional reactivity to unshakable presence. The second pillar is about conquering emotional reactivity. Picture this. You've been looking forward to a date all week. You picked out your shirt, you're about to head out the door. Then your phone buzzes on the countertop. It's her. The message is short. So sorry, something came up, can't make it. The reactive man feels that hot, prickly surge of anger and disrespect flood his chest. His thumb hovers over the keyboard as he types out a passive-aggressive text like fine or must be nice. In that moment, he's shown her his true colors. His emotional state is a puppet, and her actions are the strings. How can she trust a man to navigate the real storms of life if he capsizes in a small wave? How can she trust him to be her port in a storm? The Stoic solution lies in understanding prohairesis, your power to choose. It's the knowledge that between what happens and how you respond, there is a space. In that space is your freedom. A Stoic man doesn't just react on impulse. He pauses, he assesses, and he responds with intention. That is calm leadership. Let's go back to the canceled date. The Stoic man still feels a flash of disappointment. He's not a robot, but he doesn't act on it. He takes a breath. He recognizes her reason is outside of his control. He chooses to respond with his values, understanding, and grace. He replies, "Thanks for letting me know. Hope everything is okay. We can reschedule another time." Feel the power in that? He hasn't begged, and he hasn't attacked. He has demonstrated complete emotional mastery. His calm response communicates more strength and confidence than any outburst ever could. He's shown her through his actions that he is a mountain, unmoved by the unpredictable weather of life. When she challenges his belief, he doesn't see an attack. He sees an interesting conversation. He values connection more than being right. This unshakable presence creates a feeling of emotional safety, and that is incredibly attractive.
Pillar number 3, the purpose-driven life, from chasing attention to being the prize. The third pillar confronts a fatal mistake, making the woman the purpose of your life. I remember a client, let's call him Alex. Alex was a talented graphic designer, his tablet covered in sketches, his mind buzzing with ideas for a new brand identity he was creating. But when he met someone amazing, his world tilted. His half-finished design projects gathered digital dust on his hard drive, and he'd skip his morning gym sessions just to keep his phone close, hoping she might call. He'd cancel plans with friends with a hasty text if there was even a chance she might be free. His mission became her. The relationship felt intense and exciting until it wasn't. She started to feel suffocated, and he felt resentful that his sacrifices weren't appreciated. The attraction died because the man she was attracted to, the passionate, driven creator, had vanished. Ask yourself, and be honest, if she walked away tomorrow, would your life still feel full? If the answer is no,
You're not inviting her into a thriving world. You're asking her to be your world. That's not a gift. It's a burden. A high-quality woman doesn't want to be a man's source of happiness. She wants to share in the happiness he's already built. The Stoic solution is to live a life driven by your own purpose. Your primary relationship is with your own mission. This could be building a business, mastering a skill, or dedicating yourself to your community. A woman, no matter how amazing, is a cherished partner on your journey. She is not the destination. This doesn't mean you ignore her. It means that because your time is valuable, when you are with her, you are fully with her. But when you're not, you're busy building, creating, and striving. This dynamic creates an irresistible pull. She sees a man on a mission, and the idea of joining that journey is exciting. You shift from being the chaser to being the prize. You're not trying to win her over. You're seeing if she is a worthy companion for the life you are already building. This isn't arrogance, it's self-respect. But even with purpose, most men still crumble when faced with this one fear, and it's the reason they never meet the women they truly want.
If you're ready to stop chasing and start leading, go to the comments right now and write, "I control myself." It's a declaration to yourself and to a community of men on this same path. Pillar number 4, loving your fate, from fear of rejection to invincible fortitude. The fourth pillar tackles the ghost that haunts so many men, the fear of rejection. It's the reason a guy like Mark sees the same woman in the corner booth of his favorite coffee shop for 3 weeks straight, always with a paperback and a half-finished cappuccino. Mark's coffee has gone cold, but he hasn't taken a sip in 10 minutes. He has entire, eloquent conversations with her in his head, but he never says a word aloud. He's so paralyzed by the fear of her saying no, that momentary hot-faced sting of embarrassment, that he guarantees his own failure by never trying. How many opportunities have already been lost to that fear? The Stoic solution is a radical shift in perspective called amor fati, a love of your fate. It's the practice of embracing everything that happens, good or bad, as necessary. This is the core of Stoic fortitude, the courage to face life with grace and endurance. When you adopt this mindset, you realize rejection isn't a judgment of your worth, it's just an outcome, an event. Your judgment about it is what causes the pain. The man who fears rejection sees no as a failure. The Stoic man sees no as a gift. It's the gift of clarity. It saves you weeks of wasted time on someone who wasn't meant for your path. You can be grateful for the no because it steers you toward a better yes down the road. This mental shift is liberating. It gives you the fortitude to act. Mark finally decides his goal isn't to get her number. His goal is to be a man who acts with courage. He approaches. He says, "I see you in here all the time, and I'd regret it if I didn't say hi." He's detached himself worth from the outcome. A woman feels this lack of fear. Your directness is a breath of fresh air. When you approach with the calm confidence of a man who will be fine either way, you stand out dramatically. You aren't seeking her validation, you're creating an opportunity for connection. That courage is one of the most powerfully attractive masculine traits.
Pillar number 5, quiet confidence. From needing to prove worth to the power of being. The final pillar is the result of all the others. It addresses the man who feels he constantly has to prove himself. Think of that guy at a party, leaning against the kitchen counter, talking just a little too loudly, his laugh booming unnaturally over the music. He's a hollow drum, name-dropping his boss, steering every conversation back to his big sales win and cutting people off mid-sentence. He's desperate to prove his value. Now, in the same room, there's another man. He isn't loud. He's part of a small group, asking a woman about a book she's reading. His posture is relaxed, shoulders back. He's comfortable with the natural pauses in the conversation, letting them hang in the air without rushing to fill them with noise. He listens more than he speaks because he's more interested in understanding her than in impressing her. His value is self-evident. The Stoic solution is quiet confidence. This isn't something you fake. It's a state of being that you earn by living the other four pillars. A man with an internal scorecard, who leads with calm, who has a purpose, and who has made peace with his fate, has nothing to prove. This is communicated not through words, but through presence. It's in his relaxed posture, his steady eye contact, and his measured voice. He isn't afraid of silence, because he doesn't need to fill every gap with nervous chatter. He simply is. His presence is his power. A high-caliber woman can spot a man who is posturing from a mile away. When she encounters a man with this quiet confidence, the difference is profound. He isn't trying to get anything from her. This is the ultimate attractor because it can't be faked. It's the aura of a man who has built his own inner citadel. He is the mountain. And a woman of substance will recognize that his strength is a place she can take shelter, not a wall she has to climb.
So, let's quickly recap the blueprint we've laid out. These are the 5 pillars for becoming that mountain. First, we threw out her scorecard and built our own based on our virtues, not her validation. Second, we learned to be calm leaders, responding with intention instead of reacting on impulse. Third, we put our purpose first, inviting her to join our journey instead of making her the destination. Fourth, we learned to love our fate, turning rejection from a painful verdict into the gift of clarity. And fifth, we saw how all of this culminates in a quiet confidence that has nothing to prove because its value is self-evident. These aren't just dating principles. They're the architecture of a life you can be proud of. We started by tearing down the lie that Stoic strength is coldness. Now you see the truth. The journey isn't from feeling to unfeeling, but from inner chaos to inner order. It's the difference between reacting in anger to a canceled date and responding with grace. It's the difference between being the old Alex, the man who let his passions wither, and the new Alex, who invites a partner to share in a life he's already proud of. It's the difference between Ben twisting himself into a pretzel for a smile and the man who now brings his real self to the table. Take it or leave it. It's the difference between Mark, frozen by fear in a coffee shop, and the man who now has the courage to create his own opportunities. True Stoicism is about mastering what you feel, not getting rid of it. The 5 pillars, the internal scorecard, calm leadership, a purpose-driven life, loving your fate, and quiet confidence are a blueprint for becoming a man of substance. A quality woman is not drawn to your performance, but to your presence. Your self-mastery is your charisma. Your inner peace is your power. Now you have a choice. You can stay as you are, a leaf blown about by the winds of validation, or you can begin the work. You can start laying the foundation of your inner citadel brick by brick. The path isn't easy, but it's the only path that leads to unshakable self-respect and a genuine partnership. If you're ready to walk this path, subscribe for more wisdom on Stoicism and building a life of purpose. And if this message resonated, share it with a friend who needs to hear it. Your journey starts now. Choose to be the mountain.